Whatever you do.
I think you like Cornwall.
Yeah, man. You know who it is, man. This your boy Anthony Q, man. We live with the Antonio Parkinson Project, man. Glad to be here, man.
Okay, do give me one and say you're watching, Antonio, because we're gonna be dropping these in the middle of the show.
Fine, I got you. Tell me what you mean. You know who it is, man. It's your boy Anthony Q, man. And you watching the Antonio Parkinson Project.
All right, give me one plug your stuff, plug your music, plug, whatever you want to plug.
Yeah, man. 3, 2, 1, go ahead. Yeah, man. You know what's going on, man. It's your boy Anthony Q. Make sure y'all go stream my music on all streaming platforms. That's Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, Anthony Q with a dot, man. I appreciate the love and support.
All right. You want to do another one?
No,
you good? Yeah. Okay. All right, Rachel, you want to plug yours? Go to Rachel. Yeah, plug your stuff, the stuff you're doing.
Same thing. Okay, I'll do another drop. I do one more drop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, man. You know what's going on, man. It's your boy Anthony Q. It's going down, man. This weekend, June the 7th, this Saturday. It's called My Story, man. Make sure y'all pop out. Come see me live. If you can't watch it live, if you can't be there live, watch it live, man. Thank you.
All right. You still Memphis Meg or we? Okay.
Always.
Okay.
But everything I do is
Michelle.
Check it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Cut the check.
say my
All
real
right, man.
mind.
Okay. Let me know when we're ready. Josh. Yep.
Oh, before we start,
Okay,
there's gonna be
hold
some
on.
more people
Hold-
coming, so
it is.
which door should they?
This door right here. Yeah, this door right here. Yep. You live?
Yep.
Live? Okay.
I'm ready. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Wait for Coach. He got to take shit. This is normally when he takes shit. What part of town you from, man?
I'm from here.
I know what part though.
Man, right around the corner from right behind Raleigh, not Craig, man. What was that? Countryville Apartments.
What?
Yeah.
So you Raleigh Millington?
Yeah, well, I went to Raleigh.
You came out of Raleigh?
Yeah.
What year you come out?
07.
Who was your principal back then? Was it Meeks? No. No, it was what's his name? Colonel Bailey, wasn't it?
Yep, and no, Colonel Bailey wasn't a principal then.
He was.
still
Then it was
RTC.
Bo.
He was still RTC.
It was Bo.
And then we had Mr. Anderson who died.
Okay, you had Bo Griffin.
I remember him. I remember.
You said 06. Oh, you had Mr. Mack had the little Mercedes that Chris and them stole.
And Mr. Anderson.
And Mr. Anderson. Okay.
Colonel Bailey was RTC.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay. And Miss Simmons was.
Yeah,
there.
Coach Haller was still out there.
Coach
Dawson was. Coach Dawson.
Okay.
Yeah,
man. That's what's up, man. If I wasn't live, I'd tell you some stuff, man. But we live. My first house is on Twin Lakes in Kerwin. Yeah. My second house is on Twin Lakes in Raleigh Millington.
Oh yeah.
All right, we ready? Let's do it. Okay, hold on one second. Let me. I want to be checking for sound. Did we? Anybody check for sound on that? We're good. Okay, let's do this.
Okay, you have Bo Griffin?
Hold on. Let me that's gonna happen. All right. Give me that countdown. We're ready to do this.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Today, we're talking Trump and Elon Musk. Is the bromance officially over? Also, Cardi B and Stephon Diggs go public. Also, Clara Adams, California State Track and Field champion, was stripped of her title after she celebrated. And we got the Southern Soul singer, rapper Anthony Q in the building, baby. Yeah. And we got a special co-host in the building. We're gonna introduce her when we come back, Kojak. So don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Yo, welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast.
Say that.
in Memphis
Say
market.
that.
Let's go, baby.
Say that.
Come on. Oh, wait, man. Hold on. Do I have to do that again? Because Rachel didn't clap, Kojak.
Come on, Rachel.
Rachel. Let's try it again.
Support.
Let's try it again.
I got you.
Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's go, baby. Oh, there she is. Okay. Yeah, there she is. And look, give it up for our special co-host who's in the building. She's back.
She's back
again. Y'all give it up for Rachel Nolan, aka Memphis Meg, in the building. Baby. Let's go. Oh, look. Hey, Kojak, hold on. She clapped harder for herself.
Yeah,
She did.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
You supposed to.
That's what you're supposed to do. All right. That's what you're supposed to do. Y'all give it for my DJ. That's my DJ. DJ Kojak in the building. DJ
You
Kojak.
better know that. You better know it.
Kojak. Let's test something out real quick.
Okay.
I want you to scratch it up 4 times for Memphis Meg. Let's see what. Let's see what it do.
Just for you, man.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Anthony Q. Did you hear that scratch?
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Look.
Hey, he going platinum. He's going platinum. He's going platinum.
Multi-platinum. Y'all give it up for, and we're gonna speak that into existence for multi-platinum singer rapper.
Don't play
Anthony
with him.
Q in the
Don't
building,
play
baby.
with him.
Let's go. Yeah, man. Hey, thank y'all both for being here. Rachel, you got to do better. You know, shout out to Angelica. Shout out to Angelica, who is
I'm trying to figure out why we keep calling this man a rapper.
I am a rapper.
But he does both.
You rap gifts.
He does both. Oh wow. Oh, the shade.
She's my biggest hater.
Right. And the biggest fan at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? It's a bipolar relationship. Yeah. But look. I know, man. I know, right? Hey, look. So Angelica is sick and shut in right now. You know, when they make the announcements in church, you know, they always mention the sick and shut in.
Yeah. So we got to mention.
And you know, so you know, our prayers go out to our co-host, you know, but sometimes Kojak, I think she pulled a Kojak. So let me tell you this. So Kojak said he couldn't make it to the show one day.
Come on, man.
Right. And so we did the show, right? One of our best shows, right? And then I went to Nashville, right, to an event. And I pull up at Marathon Music Works, and who do I see at Marathon Music Works?
Hey,
You weren't there.
You
man,
was
not there.
DJ
It was the
Kojak
October London show.
It was October London show. Yeah, it really was.
I already bought the ticket.
Yeah.
What was I about to do?
Yeah, that sounds like some Angelica shit too. Yeah. Hey, we love you, Angelica. We miss you.
We do.
Get better, Angelica.
Hey, but when I was absent, y'all had Howard Q up here, and she was, trying to get him in my spot.
She murked Howard Q.
So
too.
she was trying to get him. Yeah. But we got Meg in the house. We got Meg up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. She did say Howard Q could have a job, didn't she?
Yeah, then.
Well, I got a job. I ain't stepping on no toes.
Right.
Come on, man. Come on.
I thought you was like Tommy on Martin. I was like, what job? Rachel?
I got plenty of them.
Right.
You know,
Man,
I'm focusing on one now.
Hey, man, everybody in here is from Exit 8. Everybody in here is from the capital
Man,
of Memphis.
say
Raleigh,
that.
baby. We in
Come
this
on,
thing,
baby.
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 Exit 8, baby. And look, let me say this too. You know, we got the hottest artist in the Memphis market right now, right here in the building, and he is from Raleigh, graduate of Raleigh Egypt High School,
Yes, sir.
Raleigh Egypt High School, and he is in the building. And I just want to run just a couple of video clips real quick. We're gonna run just enough not to get our money taken. So run that, Josh.
10 seconds.
To know me is to love me, cause at times I can be misunderstood. There'll be good days and bad days.
She's going through songs. I said, nah, that ain't it.
I'm cool on that fake shit, and I keep my grass cut to see that snake shit. Man, put my name on it, make me respect it. I'm talking face to face shit.
All right, and then, you know, I really want people to really understand that this man is he's a true talent. This ain't no fluke shit. This ain't no fly by night shit. This is longevity. Seriously, run that last video.
Oh, they never said it would be easy, but I can't stop crying. Sometimes I wish I had me a genie so I can stop time. I never asked the Lord for strength until I lost mine. I still hear your voice pushing me forward when I wanna stop trying. I can hear you say, I'm in a better place, so be strong.
Man, listen. Y'all give it up for Anthony Q, man.
Come on, man.
Hold on, man.
Real talent. Real
man.
talent.
You know, I want to say, you know, we started this podcast about a year and 4 months back last January, not this January, but last January. We're closing in on 7 million views, right?
Come on now.
And I want all of our people that watch and follow this podcast to please make sure y'all support this young brother, right? Because we finna put black market strategies behind him too, right? You know, and I ain't asking you for nothing. I just want to see you win.
Yeah,
real talk. And y'all, we got to make him go, man. We got to step on the gas on this, because when is the last time? Seriously, when is the last time that we had a true soulful? This man is so talented. He's rapping, singing. And the shit is soulful, like straight out of church, man.
Yeah.
Man, where did it start at?
Yep, there.
Okay,
Church.
okay.
Yep. Yeah, I call it forcibly, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's that you go on a choir rehearsal on Wednesday. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, when you 6, you don't got no choice. You know,
man.
I grew up wearing Stacey Adams suits. And,
Man, yes, man.
Yeah,
Man, my mama had drug us through church every day except we got a reprieve on Saturday. That was it. Man, okay, yeah,
you
man.
Go outside on Saturday,
man.
Maybe.
Dude, man.
For sure, going to church on Sunday.
Man,
3
2 times, 3. Yeah.
Don't let it be a visiting church.
Man,
I grew up Kojic.
Oh, you grew up Kojic? Yeah,
Yeah.
step up to that mic though. Step up to. You grew up Kojic?
Kojic.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Man, you know you was in there every hour on the
They
hour.
was tough. You can't go to sleep. You be tired. You better
Man, better not be chewing no gum either, because
Oh,
they
no.
finna come and put that white glove
stay up.
out.
Oh yeah.
With the wrinkle.
Rachel, you was an usher. Wasn't you an usher?
Yeah, she just recently was.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't. So this was the project's gonna be about today.
Okay, this was
Oh.
gonna be about saving Rachel. That's what it's gonna be about.
Check
Right.
to my family.
Man.
Don't.
Look, not the finger,
Don't.
Hey, yeah. You walking by, you gotta put that finger up.
Yeah.
Anybody even know what the origin of that is? Putting the finger up in the air.
Excuse me, 1 second, please.
Okay.
1 moment.
Okay.
One
What's
One moment.
the origin? There's an actual
You
origin.
gotta
I
hold
read
it up
about
while
it.
you walk out.
Yeah, you gotta hold it
I
up.
don't know. You just as I know as a young boy, I was told I went to Riverview Church of God in Christ off of 3rd Street, South Memphis.
Man, y'all was going out of town for church. That's out of
But
town.
see, I
for us.
stayed there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I
gotcha,
stayed with my
gotcha.
grandparents, man.
Okay,
And
gotcha.
that's where it
Gotcha.
all, you know.
Where, Westwood Walker Home? Where?
Yeah, man. I went to Westwood Elementary for a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that was my pathway to Memphis. I got introduced to Memphis in Walker Homes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, when I got here, that was the first place I learned. And this is during the I was in the military. I was in the Marine Corps. That's how I got here.
Okay.
But Walker Homes was where I learned, where I was introduced to what Memphis is.
Okay.
And shit, it was still curls back then. They was wearing curls and damaged outfits and
Gold curls and gold teeth.
Curls and gold teeth. And it's pre-gangster walking, but then it became gangster walking came online. What's up, doctor? Yeah. So yeah, man. So I get Westwood, Walker Homes,
Yeah.
Boxtown,
Yeah,
Voodoo
man.
Village.
Yeah,
You know,
man.
all of that area.
I
Yeah.
stopped around. I went to Corey Middle for a while. Grew up around there a little bit, man. Stopping the Hillview Apartments. You know.
Okay.
I got to tell you, get around, man.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
yeah, I see. But you finished it out right here in the capital of Memphis, right? Y'all give it
Come
up
on,
to the
exit 8,
capital of
man.
Memphis.
Exit 8, man.
Yes,
Exit 8,
sir.
baby. Yeah,
Look,
man.
You know, people be tripping, right? Because I shout out to our guy Marlo, the celebrity barber who coined that phrase. Raleigh is the capital of Memphis, and we took it and ran with it. But the real fact of the matter is, Raleigh was the first seat in Memphis. Raleigh was before Memphis. Raleigh was the very first county seat in Shelby County. So what that means is county seat. What that means is Memphis is a county seat. Arlington, Bartlett, Millington, Germantown, Collierville, all of these are county seats right inside of Shelby County. Raleigh was the first one before it was annexed to the city. So we are the capital of Memphis.
Oh, now.
So when I say that,
You
you
should
should
have told
believe
us
it.
that now.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
what?
I
Shut up,
swear.
man. T-shirts and
Yeah.
everything.
I swear.
T-shirts and everything.
Me,
right?
baby.
That's right.
Shouldn't have told me.
Man, hey.
I'm gonna get online.
Hey man, do that shit, man. Pin that shit. We're gonna brand that shit, right?
man.
Yeah, we're gonna brand that for real, man. So look, before we jump all the way into your talent, because we're gonna talk about your talent throughout the whole show. But before we jump, we got to talk about this, man. We got to talk about this.
All right.
Man, so Elon Musk and Donald Trump have broken up their bromance.
Oh my God.
Right. Oh man, and it's ugly, 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 ugly. And well, I think we got a little video. Josh, run that video, and then we'll come back and talk about it.
I don't think this is a distraction. Steve Bannon just called for Elon to be deported. You heard me. Steve Bannon just said we should deport Elon Musk, get him the fuck out the country and dissolve all of his businesses with the government. But wait, there's more. Even Trump agrees that if we canceled all of Elon's contracts with the government, it could save America. It could save the big beautiful bill. It could save our debt ceiling. But wait, there's more. Elon gets petty and drops a video of Trump and Epstein in 1992 at a party at a club that is now known as Mar-a-Lago with a bunch of cheerleaders. But wait, there's more. Elon's Tesla stock drops. Yep, now it's only worth $400 billion. But wait, there's more. Fox News is telling them to cut this shit out. They don't like it. MAGA doesn't like it, but I guarantee you MAGA will side with Elon before Trump. But wait, there's more. Kanye said, no, stop it, bros. We love y'all both. I don't give a fuck if it's a distraction or not. Let me tell y'all something. We can do two things at one time. We can pay attention to all the shit they doing on the back end and still pay attention to the drama.
Ooh, man, y'all see this shit?
Man,
I definitely seen it yesterday on
Man.
social media.
Memphis Meg, come on. What about it, man? What some their little love fest is over with?
It sounds like a regular relationship to me without a prenup.
Without a prenup.
Hey. Without a prenup. Cold
Ice
blooded.
water, man.
That's what it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, they was. I was about to say something I shouldn't say. I was about to say something, but they was in a bowled up in the corner, you know, for the last couple of years. That's the clean version of it, right? And now they, you know, okay, that part, But it's gotten real ugly because what some of the tweets, Kojak, you know, do we have any of those on there? But one thing Elon said is Trump is in these Epstein videos, right? And you know,
I saw that.
man, and that's why he won't release them. Then Trump said that if we get rid of those billions of dollars, you know, in those contracts that Elon Musk has, you know, then the deficit will go down and it will fund his big beautiful bill act, right? Because but here's the thing, here's what's interesting, right? Is that Elon Musk is so wedged in, man, in the fabric of our Defense Department and this, that, and other. And so they have to have his equipment in order for us to be secure.
Yes.
Right. You know, and so,
all that information
man, we talked about that last show, right?
Man. All that information.
Man, listen, I say checkmate. Elon Musk pulled the biggest coup in American history.
This is true.
Because he went in there under the auspices of
being a
Doge
friend
and Department of Government Efficiency, extracted all of this data, American data, contractual data, defense data, this security data, all of the data. And I said last show that they probably bugged it enough that if the data changes, it still feeds into their servers, right? And so, and I said that information is so valuable to enemies, to friends, to whoever, to companies, right? You know, and you know, he got them nerds up there that can scour through that data, and
he got the juice now.
It's gonna be right here in Memphis too. The supercomputer.
He got it up.
Gonna be right down the street.
Now here's the other part though, man. As much as I hate to admit it, Trump is Teflon Don in this month, man, for real, man. Now listen, I've seen political survivors, right? This man has defeated the U.S. government with his team and his money. And he ain't really had no money. He got it now. Yeah. But he faked it till he made it. But he got it now. And shit, man, folks, when you got a country giving you a jet, come on, man. You know, And anyway, that's a whole
go down a rabbit hole.
I mean, hey.
Yeah, man. You know, so let me ask you something, man. If Trump was to have a ball and he booked you, would you do it?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No.
Man, you better get that bag.
I
See what happened in Snoop.
so I was about to add incentive. I was like, but there's always a price for everything, right? I just feel like, man, at the same extent, I always want to stand for something. Like for me, it's deeper than the game, it's deeper than music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, it's like I get love from the people. You know what I'm saying? So I always want to respect, you know what I'm saying, the people. It's deep, man. Like we can get some money, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I'm like a Malcolm X, man, Martin Luther King. I want my life to mean something when it ends. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like, if I don't mess with you, I don't want to sit by a snake. I don't care if it do get, if it's surrounded by gold, I'm straight. You just go over there. And it ain't to say, it ain't even about politics. It's more so just snake bite snakes. Even
moral
snakes.
and morality and character.
I don't even want it to rub off on me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't straight, you ain't straight. You know what I'm saying?
You know, but the flip side to that is, and I get that. I get what you're saying. The flip side too is also, you know, if you know, you have to be in the room to make the change. You know, you got to be on the inside, man, to be able to gut stuff, right?
Guerrilla warfare.
And that's what Trump is doing. He got on the inside. That's what Elon was doing with this whole Doge thing, right? You gotta get on that inside to be able to make change. I can tell you this though, being the state representative, man, getting on the inside, you see shit that you ain't seen. You be like, man. You be like, man. And I try to explain to our young brothers, these young cats, these YNs, right there. I try to explain to man almost every piece of legislation that comes down from the state is directed at you. I'm real talk, because it's directed at our young black men, right? Yeah. Because it's I tell people it's profit in poverty, and that every time we pass a law, there's money that follows it. Yep. And so if it means locking you up, somebody getting the bag, whether it's core civic, the private prisons, or somebody's making money off of your head in education and incarceration, all of it. Yes. And so that's why I say, get your bag if you need to get the bag.
Yeah, what's that? Hey, look, we all chasing generational wealth, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm really trying to not just feed the hood, man. You gotta, in order to change the world, you gotta change yourself. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it is like, man, where I want it to come from too. You know what I mean? Not saying I want to be hungry. Yeah. I'm gonna take care of my family. Yeah. But if he called me directly, it's probably a no, right? Yeah, like, somebody tell you, hey, I got this thing, I want to, you can probably fool my team for sure. We'll fight eternally about it. You know what I'm saying?
And here's what I say too, you can get the phone call too, but everything is negotiable. You see what I'm saying? And so you weigh this right. Let's say scenario, Trump says, hey, you're such a great guy. He wants to do his Trump dance, and he wants to do his Trump dance to misunderstood and but everything is negotiable. And if it will increase your territory so that your message gets out further, that should be considered.
Method to your madness.
Man, come on, man. Speak, man. Every move is a calculated step. Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. So, man, hey, look, y'all don't go anywhere. When we come back, we are going to talk more to Anthony Q, and we got Memphis Meg in the building. Yeah. And what we're talking about next, because Rachel, I know you're following these notes, right? Yeah. So what we talking about next in segment 2? I'm giving you a shot. Your claim to fame.
So let me go. They're gonna get me to do policy and procedure.
No, we ain't gonna do that.
Segment 2.
Cheat sheet, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So coming up on segment 2, we're gonna be getting more into Anthony Q, getting more into the drama of the music world. When we return back on the Antonio Parkinson project.
Okay, you murked that real good. So when we come, right. So when we come back, we're gonna be talking about Cardi B and Offset and all of the stuff that's going on with them. And we're gonna ask this question, Rachel. This is a good question for you too. I'm glad you're here. When is it too soon to both post your relationship and to bring the person around your children?
Kids.
Y'all don't want to miss this conversation. Don't go anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. We'll be right back. You're watching Antonio Parkinson.
Don't have that nigga around my kids.
Go ahead
I like how folks poke at the person that's known publicly.
All right. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. Let me do that again. Rachel got my notes still. Can you unhand that? Can you
Unhand my notes
you
now.
was holding them hostage. Okay, all right. So y'all, this is the beauty of live TV. All right, okay. Come back. Okay, let's do it again. Welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's go, baby.
Doing numbers.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. We want, we got. Hey, Kojak. I think we're gonna hit that 7 million with Anthony Q on the show.
Come on, man.
Let's do it.
We're going over
Man,
that.
look,
We're
hey,
going
look.
over that.
Hey, look, man. Look, who was it? Shasta Cannon sent me your stuff.
Yeah.
What is this? How many months ago was that? That's got to be
I remember.
6-7 months ago.
She supported, man.
Right. And I she sent me the music. I heard the music. I said, shit. You know, I'm a music business person too.
Yeah.
So Kojak is too. Kojak music business too.
Yeah.
Yep. We've been doing this for a long time. And when I heard it, I said, damn. I said, that's real right there, right? And I'm hard on people that submit stuff to me, right?
Yeah,
you know, I just to give you a little background, you know, I had an artist group signed to RCA Records.
Yeah.
You know, coming out of it's before you was around Rough House Records, you know, in they had Lauryn Hill, you know, Wycliffe and all them.
Yeah.
And I know what, you know, you have to have something really special, you know, to really make it in the music business, right? And because the competition is so thick, right? Everybody is a rapper. Everybody is a singer. Everybody is doing beats. Everybody is doing something, right? And to be able to cut through all that noise, bro, that's that's saying something. That's saying something. I want to ask about the label, right? And you know, if you want to come up, yeah, okay. So how did, because I remember seeing something on social media. I guess it was signing day. Was it signing day? Yeah. So how did y'all end up linking up, and how did that happen?
Oh man, I actually shout out to my guy Lambo, man.
Young Lambo.
Yeah, man. CFO, man. He was trying to reach me for, man. I know it had to be about 3 or 4 months, man.
So everybody was in your DM. I was in it. You were in it. Everybody. Had it, right?
Man, it's just be so far down, and I end up getting hit up, and I eventually end up going viral. To try loving me for like the second or third time.
Oh yeah.
And man, every label was calling, you know, and I just wanted, like I said, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I wanted something a little more personal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so in the midst of me taking all these meetings with, I think I had a meeting with Atlantic.
And step just a little
Atlantic,
you don't have to
Sony.
lean into it, but
Atlantic, Sony.
Okay.
Man, to name a few, and I end up taking the meeting, man, and with them, and man, it just. The relationship was just different. Again, it was more personal. I wanted something more personal, something that I could be more connected to. You know what I mean? Something more free flowing and
more family.
Be a part of something. Yeah, definitely more.
Yeah,
because you know when you sit down with labels, they say that. You know what I mean? But it doesn't really give that. You know what I mean? So, man, it's been dope though. It's been a great experience. You know what I mean? And again, because it's something that we beginning together. You know what I'm saying? So. It's been dope, man. I ain't got no complaints.
Yeah, I actually want to go back before the signing, the viral moment, because it seems like to me, you went from like 0 to, I mean, what machine did you have to do that? Because I'm looking like, because first it was like I saw one post, and next thing you know, I was like, hold on, this ain't gonna make me listen to him.
Man,
I'm like, who is this?
Man, honestly, man, I tell people all the time, my God and my grandma. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, man, if anybody ever met my grandmother, man, she can be overbearing, man. You know, nerve-wracking. She very persistent. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I feel like, man, if she done went to heaven, she done probably got on God's nerve. Like, he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? Really, man, I tell people all the time, like, I was in a bad space. You know what I mean? When I first went viral. And from there, man, my life just kind of just kept doing it, you know what I mean? And everything's a process too. Like I take it one day at a time, but I think that's what helped me connect with the people a lot more. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Okay. So you said you were in a bad space. Tell us what does that look like? What's a bad space for you? I know we've all had bad space.
Come on now.
I've had several bad spaces.
It's good.
Yeah, come on, give us some.
So man, I just, you know, I'm watching my grandmother die, you know what I'm saying? And that was tough. I just got evicted out of Summer East Apartments off of Barley Road. So I'm staying there. I got my kids there. My relationship is failing. You know what I'm saying? And really just trying to figure out a lot of times we're born young men, but we're not a man. You know what I mean? And so as I live more, I start realizing like, dang, like I don't know how I'm gonna fix a lot of my issues, and sometimes we don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So man, it was just real bad. I wanted to not be at my grandmother because I was at my grandmother's house when she was on hospice and helping my father with her, and I, just not wanting to be around and not understanding that's where God wanted me at the time. You know what I mean? So it was definitely where I was supposed to be, but just pushing back and wanting to escape facing the reality of what I'm in. You know what I mean? So I see it now. Like I said, everything's a learning process, and I can kind of scope it when I see it. I always tell men to be more vocal. Don't be a crybaby now. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
but
thank you, man. Man, these women out here want you to cry.
Yeah, like don't
Show
be
your emotions.
don't be a crybaby, man. Speak your truth and find a way to get up and go to work tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because you still got to be a provider and a protector at the same extent. But man, learn how to speak into your truth so you can get it up off you. You know? And that's where it was at for me. Just find a way to get up off you.
Do you tell that story often though?
Not really, and that's what a lot of this, my show on tomorrow is about. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just a lot of times you see artists, they get up there, they dance, they sing. They may talk a little bit, but this time like, nah, man. You want to know? I'm gonna tell you, right? I'm gonna tell you the real though. You know what I mean? So,
uncut version.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. And I tell people a couple of things. One, and you will be up there at some point. Inscribed on my wall in my office at the Capitol in Nashville is there's purpose in everything, right? And Rachel, we didn't had this deep conversations about that, right? You never really understand why you're going through what you're going through at the time. And watch this. Here's the killer part. Let me show you how God has made the psyche work, right? You going through all of this stuff, right? And a lot of times we ain't even thinking about the fact that we're going through all of this stuff at the time because we're in survival mode because your mind has and your norm had shifted probably a long time ago, and you were so ingrained in survival mode, you don't even realize the types of traumas that you're going through.
Exactly.
Am I lying?
No, you're not,
man, bro. Man, I'm telling you, man. I tell people, and it's the truth. I was homeless 3 times before the age of 17, man. 3 times. I'm serious. I like living in bandos, homeless, right? And the whole time, I was the state representative. I'm one of the most powerful people in the state of Tennessee. My power is equal to that of the governor of the state of Tennessee. Now, I want you to see this in your space. You going through all of this stuff, dealing with the broken relationship, dealing with your grandmother, right? Dealing with being evicted, trying to sing rap, right? The whole time, God knew your trajectory. We don't see it at that time when we're in survival mode. We just like, shit. I'm thinking about knocking the motherfucker over, right? So I can get this bag, right? So I can eat, so I can feed these looking at these kids, right? Man, you see what I'm saying? And so, man, I thank God for you, man. But I'm gonna tell you this: tell your story at every chance you can, because that is your goal. And I told Rachel, I told you this the other day. Authenticity is the nucleus to charisma. So the more honest and real and open and vulnerable you are with your story, right, the more it's gonna draw people to you.
Shout out to CFO, man. My guy Lambo, he say it all the time. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing that you did with your son. Man, that's what it really hit. It really hit.
What's
home.
that now?
The joint you did.
That's my YN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Come
I ain't
on,
heard that.
man.
I was
That's
that
all
video.
Now,
a real situation.
And I got boys. You know what I'm saying? It's what I want to say. But you said it. You understand what I'm saying? It's what I want to say, right on point. But you said it. I was like, man, that's
man.
dope as fuck, man.
People don't know, like that come from a real moment, right? That I had with my son. Like I deal with the same thing everybody else deal with. My life just changed. So my son, who will be 16 in September, he kind of got his mind made up about how he view things, what he likes to listen to as far as music, finding a fascination with guns, right? In a different type of dynamic, and trying to help him understand, just due to the color of your skin, right?
Come on.
It's a different type of image, right? I hate to tell you that, man, don't have a fascination with him, because if somebody else that don't look like him, he's just a hunter, right? He just likes to hunt. He just, you know what I mean? He likes to shoot guns. Nothing wrong with it, but Yeah, but you put a gun in his hand, then he becomes a YN, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I don't call him a YN. I don't even play with kids. I tell people all the time, like I don't play with my kids, man. I'm not your friend, you know, I'm your father. But you know, the world views him as that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, I make a letter to my YN, and I know, like, man, I fear for my son in real time. You know what I mean? Like, but I worry about my son more than I worry about. I got girls. So I worry about him the most. You know what I mean? Because it's like I know kind of the image everybody got to be.
You got to hear
when
that.
you walk out. You know what I'm saying? And that alone is a threat. You know what I mean?
And how they view us. I was just talking about this one. If the other side of the police can hear that song, to see that you know, the humanality of it, you know what I'm saying, they can look at it and be like, well, he just looked like that, you know. My son had a situation. Touche helped me out, you know what I'm saying, on that. Where they, you know,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Right.
They ran up on him, and you know, he just liked to draw. He take pictures, you know. He skateboard. He juke, you know. He won the little juking contest, 901 Memphis. So he that type of person. But when they ran up on him, they bust all of one of y'all, ripped up trying to pull him out, and then find nothing but his art supply.
It don't matter. We all gotta face it one day.
Police did that.
We all gotta face it, and how you deal with it is everything. My son got maced. He ended up getting jumped at Raleigh, Egypt. We were going at Raleigh, Egypt Middle at the time. We were still staying here, and you know, my son, he wants to go continue to fight. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up getting sprayed by the police trying to run around the police to fight, and I had to tell him, like, man, this get a lot worse as you get older. You know what I'm saying?
Man. You know, it's interesting. You know that we're here and saying it because I was at the preliminary hearing for Pastor Ricky Floyd murder trial, the murder of Pastor Ricky Floyd, who was my closest friend, right?
And my pastor,
and his pastor, and I was watching all of these cases that came, you know, before the judge, before we even got to that, right? And man, 99, with the exception of this dude that was driving on a suspended license, every other case was because someone was acting out of emotion. Real talk, man. And so I was thinking about that when you said your son was trying to run around the officer. That's emotion,
definitely,
and pride, right? And the other was, you know, and lack of lack of emotional intelligence. Number one, that's the most important thing you can teach your children: emotional intelligence. Number two, not understanding conflict resolution. And let me qualify that. When it got to, you know, Pastor Floyd's trial, Pastor Floyd's prelim, and they played the 911 tape, and they played, and they had the first responding officer there, and I was listening to the testimony, right? And I'm like, she went, the lady, and I'm not, listen, I'm not trying her out in public opinion, right? Because honestly, everybody's a victim here, right? And you know, she went to her car. Came out in the courts. She went to her car and got the gun. And my question immediately was, why didn't you just get in the car and drive away? Right? You know, or just get in the car and sit in the car and just chill, right? And just, you know, and you know, because
decompress a little bit.
You know, because she stands the possibility of losing her life too. Maybe not physically, right? But if she's incarcerated, you know, she got kids, right? She got children.
It definitely changes everybody's life.
It changed, man. Listen, at the age of 14, I went to jail. I was in taking my algebra finals in 10th grade. Right, Port Arthur, Texas. PAT. Shout out to all PAT.
Hey man. Pimp C, man. Shout out.
They came behind me in high school. Yeah. Right, Pimp C, Bun B. Shout out DJ DMD. Everybody. Shout out to PAT, man. And I'll never forget, man. I was sitting in second period taking my algebra finals with a loaded gun in my pocket because my intentions were to shoot and kill 4 kids after school. This would have been the first Texas. This would have been the first mass shooting at a high school in the United States.
And you taking your test. You finishing algebra.
I was smart
in 10th grade.
I was smart, but I was dealing with some dudes, some bullies, man. Right?
Well, I ain't gonna say too much because I got Bob Man over there, and he know a lot of my own little information but as a grown man. So
but I think
reserve my comments for myself.
But I think those stories are important. And here's what's interesting, right? You know, I was arrested, right, and taken to jail at the age of 14 because my intentions when you're going through it, like I said earlier, you're going through it You ain't thinking about the fact that you're in survival mode. You gonna do what you got to do to survive, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and thank God, man, somebody snitched. Thank God, his name Donnell Fusely. Look, Donnell.
Look, they'll never forget the
Right.
snitch. I'm telling you, though.
Look, you want to hear something crazy though? You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
So after I caught up with Donnell maybe 4 years ago on Facebook. So since then, from the 10th grade to 2021, shit, I'm 57. So you know how many years that is, right? Yeah. So I caught up with Donnell on Facebook. I'm like, Donnell, man, I just want to thank you, right? What you want to thank me for? He in San Diego. We on Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. What you want to thank me for? Man, thank God, man. I thank God you told the principals that I had that gun, and it saved 4 kids' lives, saved my life, and because listen, y'all, listen. When I say I saw the whole thing playing out in my head, I had already come to terms with I'm going to prison in Texas, in Harris County. I'm going to go to prison. Yeah, for sure. Right. I was okay with the consequences because I was tired of them. Right. And the thing is, you never know where a person is mentally at any given moment. Right. Right. But here's the part about Donnell. I'm telling Donnell this shit, man. And Donnell says, damn, I don't even remember that shit.
Ain't that
right? Look, listen, and think about this. I want you to think about this too. And the traumas that we go through, right? Yeah. That's our perspective. Right. Ain't nobody else going through it. Ain't nobody else seeing what you were seeing.
Yes. So it was marginal to him.
Incredibly marginal. He's like, what? I told who? I did. What? I did. I'm like, yeah, you did. You told Mr. Paul, motherfucker.
I didn't even know you got in trouble.
Right.
I don't remember
you went to
that.
jail. Look, real talk. And that tell you how insignificant your life is to other people, right? Because I disappeared.
Yeah.
I got locked up. I eventually got out, and shit, life went on for everybody else, right? My shit was at like somewhere else, right? Yeah, but I was still the state representative back then. Just like you still the superstar back then. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna shut up and and get into this segment, but bruh, I don't even know if you know how big you're about to be. I see it. Seriously. I see it. It's different. And your music is going to evolve not out of your element, but into some of the biggest shit that I don't even know if you can imagine it, but I see it. Yeah. I appreciate it. Man, y'all give it up for Anthony Q, man. Yeah, man. Hey, man.
All that energy.
You are good. You have an eye for talent. Let me tell you this. Yep. You have an eye for talent. So, but look, okay, y'all, we gotta talk about some real shit. So, you said you was breaking up with your girl at the time, right? You was in this stuff, right? Cardi B and man, this man, I'm on 2 sidecars. So I'm on 2 sidecars. So this is gonna be
I'm on that old fast.
So let's run the video first and set this up. Josh, run that video, Cardi B. Come on. Ooh, okay. Now, everybody got their thing. I'm a more natural person. Give me the natural. I like a regular natural woman. Yeah. You're right. I ain't got to have all of this, extra stuff, right? Yeah. The ass got to fit the legs for me. Right. No shade. Hey, Q, I always say there's a market for everything and everybody.
Yeah.
And I tell people, you can be a woman. Let me give you an example. Them women that are on, I forgot the name. I don't even watch it, but it's a show where these women are big women and they eat and they
600-pound life.
My 600-pound life. All of them got husbands.
Normally, all of them are married.
All of them married. Even the basketball wives ain't married.
This is true.
So there is a market for everything and everybody. So I'm not knocking. Those that get BBLs, don't come for me. Come for Angelica. Angelica put that in the notes. Yeah. So y'all come for Angelica. Right. Man. But what I'm saying is, these public relationships, right? These public relationships, I couldn't live a public relationship. Is it would you okay with a public relationship? With posting your relationships and stuff on Facebook? On social media?
So we said it's truth. Tell the truth.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell the
Uncut
truth,
version.
shame the devil.
Uncut version.
Okay.
Go back to coaching.
I wouldn't do it because I've normally not been the most fluent monogamous person.
Hold on. That's a
Fluent.
new term.
I
That's
like
going
that
in our
word.
book. Fluent monogamous.
That's that PR.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, boy, he put a spin on that.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, no, right? But I just feel like with anything, like even with music, right?
Mhm.
So with relationships, the moment it becomes public,
Yeah.
it's everybody's business.
Everybody's business.
So I see so much with
Mhm.
the Carter B thing. You see Stephon and got
Right.
caught up with his side chick now.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of that, I think we got a little. Do we have another
We
video
got
on
another-
that?
Oh, this is
Josh?
y'all is messy.
We
Where
ain't
the
got a
baby
second.
been?
Let's go.
Okay.
I
Okay.
ain't
Yeah.
say nothing
Yeah.
about it.
Because see, because he was on the boat flirting with.
I don't remember about. I see the.
Right.
I said enough.
Now you know you in that circle. You're gonna run into these folks, right?
Nah, it wasn't me, Stephon.
Right. Rachel, do you think your relationships should be public? Because a lot of women say
Definitely yes.
they say, if you're not
Yeah, they want
posting
it.
me,
And, you know.
then you're cheating or you got something else going. Now Anthony Q said he is not fluently
Monogamous.
Right. So he wouldn't. That's not a good idea if y'all over there, right? So Rachel,
So I would say for anyone, male or female in the entertainment world.
no.
So this just for me.
Yeah.
So
right.
for me-
Nice try though.
You see about
So for me, it wouldn't do good because on all my social platforms,
Mhm.
my followers are 80% men.
Of course they are.
So
Memphis Meg.
Good
Good
knees.
knees.
Good knees. Good knees.
good
Good
news.
knees, right?
So it wouldn't do me no due diligence to have it
Uh-huh.
public because I'm really a private person anyway. Now, if a person get a picture on Facebook with a emoji over the face, that's public enough.
Oh, they ain't gonna
If-
get that with me.
If
Shit.
the person
definitely
existed,
not
they would
posting.
have to exist.
Definitely not posting
So-
nobody.
Yeah.
No.
Sing the hook on the pre-chorus Misunderstood real quick.
To know me is to love me, cause at times I can be misunderstood.
Rachel, they misunderstand you.
A lot. We've had this conversation a lot. Myself and Q, we go into depth with the conversation.
We can't have nobody anyway. They think
Man.
They think this my dude.
Yep.
Everybody
Yep.
think this my dude. so-
Rachel, everybody thinks every dude is your dude.
That's what I'm saying.
I remember when you were doing the event on Raleigh Millington.
Blue Ice.
Right?
Mhm.
No, not at Blue Ice. No, on Raleigh Millington.
Oh, my
at your
space.
spot,
Okay, my
right?
space.
And y'all doing karaoke and
Uh-huh.
everybody was there and shit. If you dance with a dude, shit, that's your dude.
Definitely.
Oh, that's you
Yeah.
labeled. That's
Yeah.
your dude.
She go with it. She go with somebody though. I'm gonna drop the bomb in a little bit.
Drop it, man. Please drop it, man. Please drop it, man.
Don't-
Please drop it.
And then
man.
we're
Drop-
gonna be
let's
coming
break-
back here.
Let's break this
with
news on the
it's
Antonio
a
Parkinson
messiest
project.
segment.
Man,
Let me stop.
No, don't
She know
stop. Don't stop.
I got to. She know all my business. Let me
Yeah,
just.
look. I'm telling you, man. Hey,
Yeah, we definitely going over 8 million.
hey,
I'm gonna be
what?
like this. What's on your
Man.
cash app?
Right,
Right,
what?
I got it right here. Let me say that.
Right, man. But look, but I am incredibly, deeply private. I'm like, man, I wouldn't put shit having to do with a relationship
I dig
on
it.
social media. I mean, I can't be at an event just having a conversation with a woman without people marrying us or saying we fucking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, I'm like, nah. And then here's the other thing too that came out in this whole Cardi B thing, because I thought we had the video about the braids. We didn't keep that. Okay, so
I seen it, though. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So Cardi B and Stephon Diggs, they mess with each other, and Stephon Diggs get his braids done, and they're just like Offset's son's braid,
Yeah.
and that goes out on social media, right?
Right.
And man, listen. Let me tell you something. If you want to get on my bad side, have my kids calling somebody else daddy. Man, and I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Man, everybody getting the ass whooping. And see, that's my lack of
Everybody getting
emotional
the ass
intelligence right there, right?
Yeah.
But you can't play with people and their kids, man.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I watch social media, right? Now I'm gonna say this in defense of both parties, because when you play, then the game is now on, right? And that goes for the man and the woman, right? And so even though I am a man first, right, and I understand, I'm gonna tell you what I do. I'm gonna befriend your boyfriend, because the chances are he ain't shit neither. You understand me?
Kick it.
No,
Right.
I don't give a damn about them braids. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
uh-huh.
Like what I'm looking for is, man, are you hurting my children?
Mhm.
Right? My children gonna automatically know I'm daddy, so I'm
Yeah.
not worrying about
Yeah.
another man being the father or
Mhm.
being the mama ain't telling that, which I highly doubt Cardi is telling that. They just got a lot of back and forth like children, right? He's
Yeah.
doing petty shit. He's posting himself with 10 women.
Mhm.
She's hey, I moved on, and look, we're essentially a family. He got the braids like him. I just feel like, man, it's a lot of unanswered questions amongst the both of them,
Mhm.
because when you moved on, you moved
Mhm.
on. I got nothing to say. I don't care
Mhm.
what you do over here. That don't bother me. So as a grown man, I'm just feeling like if I'm Stephon Diggs, I'm looking at it like, what you on? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And if I'm somebody that's dating Offset, I'm looking like, what you on? You care
Mhm.
an awfully lot
Come on,
for a
boy.
person that
Come on,
moved
man.
on.
Come
You know what I'm
on,
saying?
man.
I don't care
That's
about
a
no
great point.
braids, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But but also though, sometimes people will use you,
Mhm.
manipulate you
Mhm.
into some shit that you unsuspectingly are walking into,
Mm.
right?
Mhm.
And I give you an example. It could be, and I'm not saying she did this, right?
Yeah.
But it could be Cardi B say, "Hey, man, get your braids down like Lil Kiki or whatever his name is, little Offset."
Yeah.
Right? And then next thing you know, you click and the shit out on social media
Mhm.
just to antagonize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely thought it was just,
Mhm.
and again, it's no shade at her. I just feel like I see a lot of stuff he does to her,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Online throwing
Yeah.
shots, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He had the little I think statement where he said, I passed the ball, right? And I guess essentially, so
Well,
you can't-
Stephon is a
you
receiver
can't-
though.
but you can't poke
He got it.
and don't want to be poked back, man. We learned
Yeah,
this at
that's
an early age. Don't hit me, you don't want to be hit back now. You know what I'm saying? So even though, man, like I tell people, I'm a man first, but at the end of the day, man, hey, when you play the game, you got to play the game. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
And here's the killer part too. This is why I have an issue with posting on social media, posting your relationship on social media.
Yep.
It's the same to me as you going to complain to your relatives about how bad this individual
Mhm.
is,
Yeah.
and then that should be over in a blink. And then next thing you know, you looking silly as hell, and you bring them on, you bring them back, or not, right? But
Or
the
you're
fact-
mad at your folks for having an opinion about your mate.
Yeah.
Definitely.
right.
Definitely. I've done it. I'm guilty of it. So I
Yeah.
can, hey,
yeah.
I definitely understand.
So I'm like, man, shit, keep the shit private, man. That's my position on it. Women want to be validated in a lot of cases, not all women. And if you're watching, chime in, join in the conversation, because we want to hear your thoughts and comments on this. Do you need your relationship to be public,
No.
or are you about that privacy? What'd you say, Rachel? No. Rachel, you ain't never had a public relationship.
And that's why Rachel been single 4 years.
Oh, okay.
It don't
Well, that ain't what I thought.
That
Q
was-
said there was. We're gonna break some news today.
You listen
Right,
to this man over here across this table.
Right.
Oh
right.
my God.
He's saying you misunderstood.
So what about that dude?
Get that shot, get Rachel, man. Come on, man.
About what about what dude? What dude? So then he the main reason why nobody talks to me no more, because everybody feels like that this is my secret
Right.
hidden dude, and he's not. I keep telling him like
But we be together a lot.
Yeah. You
She
be
my
like,
host.
hey,
did you put a T on that?
Chuck.
Hey,
Chuck.
man.
Spell it out. Spell it out.
Hey,
HOST.
T.
Hey.
Thank you.
But look, hey, being in them close quarters, man, sometimes that shit, man, just is, hey, the moments,
No.
now look,
They said at the same time.
Nah, we clear that up fast. Nah.
man.
No.
Hey, look, how many times we done heard these stories about, these dudes in there producing female artists.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they cornholing each other.
Nah. It's
hey,
too much
man.
respect. Like, we have too much respect for each other, for one.
I'm scared
So-
of her. This is what she's saying.
Man, but you know what though?
What you mean,
Real
bruh?
talk. Even like my relationship with Angelica, right?
Right.
Man, look, Angelica is gorgeous.
Right.
Angelica beautiful. Angelica beautiful, fine. No shade, Mitch. Hell, that's why you married her, right? But I would never ever go there, and I know she would never ever go there.
Right.
We we have that level of respect for each other. Man, in fact, because you think about everything that can be lost in that, right?
For sure.
Because that line has been crossed, right?
For sure.
And so shit. But Angelica got an identical twin, so Right. Yeah.
Now you, on the other hand, I don't know you.
Right. Hey, look, y'all don't go anywhere. We're gonna come right back, and we're gonna wrap up this segment with Anthony Q, because y'all, I don't know if y'all heard this story. Her name is Clara Adams. Angelica jacked the girl's name up as she does. Her name is Clara Adams. This baby won the state a state championship,
California
in
state
track and
champion.
field in California, Kojak, right?
Yeah, that ain't easy.
And then they stripped her of her state title. I ain't gonna tell you why. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Come right back. We're gonna tell you why they stripped her of her state title in track and field in California. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. No music.
YouTube be ready.
Yeah. Okay, welcome back to the Antonio Parkinson Project. You're watching the fastest growing visual podcast in the Memphis market. Let's go, baby. We're good for that. Anthony Q gonna take us over 7 million, take us to 7.5 million, right?
Yeah, man.
Man. Look, I do also want to mention, it's important to mention, y'all know Juneteenth is going on too, right? Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Talisa Franklin. That's family. She's family.
My sis.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised you ain't on that stage tomorrow.
I got something tomorrow.
You got something tomorrow?
Yeah.
Well, you can have 2 things tomorrow.
Oh no, man. Ain't gonna work all that,
man. Let me call Talisa. Tell her right there.
I know Talisa though, man.
Okay,
Her brother, man. Shout out to Alan Franklin, man.
Okay.
I got Maud, man. That's her little brother, man. I've been knowing Talisa for
Okay, you family then. That's all family, man. That's all family. So Juneteenth is going on, and I do want to talk. So they're gonna have Kojak. Talisa pulling it, man. Cut close.
Cut
close.
close. Come on now.
Yeah, with
Athena.
Keith Sweat, right?
Yeah, Athena. That's on that song. Nobody.
Yeah.
Okay.
The female that's on it.
They were dope though, man.
Oh yeah.
Cut Close.
I actually did a
Man.
remix. I did a remix.
You did a remix on Cut Close?
Long time ago.
Okay, shit.
In Atlanta.
That's what's up? In Atlanta?
And who can love you like
Right.
me?
But who is that lead singer that had
Athena.
man? She was dope. She killed that Keith Sweat single, right?
Yeah.
When she did her thing, man. I mean, murked it. She was fine. She stood out. But Cut Close was dope as shit though by them as a group though. Man, but they ain't do but what, one album? They did one album and man, and the business got in the way. Kojak, man, hey, man, it was cut close.
Yep, it was cut too close.
I think there was a kind of one of those, what do they call it, unsung cut close. Yeah, and they talked about that and how Keith Sweat, there was some division in the group.
Yeah.
I don't know if Keith Sweat was hitting one of them, but I told you them close quarters. Cut close. And so she has Eddie Valero, changing faces, Cut Close, and they're gonna be at Memphis Juneteenth at Health Sciences Park tomorrow. I'm gonna pull up, and that's at on 799 Madison, and it's from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. So y'all make sure y'all support the Memphis Juneteenth. It's the biggest one. There are going to be multiple celebrations. Support them all. Yeah. Right. This is the biggest one, and we gotta support our girl Talisa Franklin, man. She family, man. She family.
Put a lot of work in too, man. A lot of work.
And if you need more information, you go to memphisjuneteenth.com. Also, before we jump into the segment, I want to mention too that Baptist, man, and I'm loving this. Let me see if I can find my notes on this. Baptist is doing let me find it. Hang on a second, y'all bear with me. Baptist is doing this thing on June 21st called Heart and Soul, a men's wellness collective.
Wow.
And we are the Antonio Parkinson Project is a sponsor of this event. There's going to be, I think, close to 1,000 men at this event. It's at the Agri Center. It's June 21st, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. They got Mr. and Mrs. Michael Jai White.
Okay.
Is going to be there. Yeah. He's going to be on the show that Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. And Elise Neal is going to be there. And Da Vinci from BMF. Yeah, he's going to be there. I
interviewed him before.
Yeah, he may be on the show too that Friday. I'm not sure if we're going to get him on the show that Friday, but we are going to get Michael Jai White and his wife on the show. That's going to be, man, listen, that's going to be a big deal because they're going to talk about everything from mental health to child support to right. Look, got your attention, huh? To ED. Y'all, look,
I don't know
hey, y'all, don't look at me because I know who you are. Look, ED, you struggling in the bedroom. They're gonna be talking about that. and Rachel.
Josh said, hold on. She's laughing awful loud.
Because I was trying to put every word to that acronym ED.
Yeah.
Like education.
Yeah, it is that. Yeah, education erectile dysfunction. So Rachel, let me ask you this: have you ever been with a dude and he could perform?
No.
Okay.
Even if he wasn't blessed, no.
Oh, okay. Rachel, so they can have ED and they come in your contact with you. They back restored.
I'm not saying that.
Man, just touch the hem of Rachel's garment. Touch the hem of Rachel's moo-moo. Touch the hem of Rachel's moo-moo.
Very particular.
Right? And your ED will go away.
No,
right?
No, I'm just very particular. I'm very.
How do you know though that they ain't suffering from ED before you in the bedroom with them?
I'm so blunt. I ask questions. Like,
you ask them.
I asked if you had an STD. I asked what. I asked.
I don't want to do it after that.
Well, then I'm saying.
Boo.
Like a field goal. I'm saying.
Yeah, who gonna
but
there you go.
So
who gonna say that?
Are they gonna admit that they got ED to you when you ask them questions?
Well,
Then
know
the
I
next
got
question
ED.
I'm gonna ask is, do you have a prescription to support that problem?
Oh,
Could you stay with him if he had one?
Yeah.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. You are
No.
gonna be a co-host on the show.
No, I'm not a cheater. No.
Wait a minute.
I feel like
Hold on.
I feel like, do we got animosity?
I love that question. So that's a really good question. And for the audience, for the women that's watching, we have a large following with females. If you find out that your dude cannot perform, would you cheat? So I'm gonna ask you that question.
I personally went, but it's very hypothetical that a lady will. I'm not very sexual driven like that. I'd be so about my business to where
You don't think you?
Man, it got quiet as a gag church mouse with cotton boots on in here when you answer that question.
Like,
So let me be clear on that.
Everybody
So if the dude couldn't perform, you would live a life of celibacy. That's
we
what you're
didn't say
saying.
celibacy. He got a liquor license.
What? Whoa, yeah.
We grown.
So never mind.
So, but you okay with that?
Yeah.
So this is your dude, right? Let's say you married.
Now, rest his soul.
Damn, you gonna kill him?
He couldn't Thaddeus Matthews me. Now.
Oh God! Oh
So-
God! She went
What
there.
the
Oh God!
What the hell are
Oh.
you talking about? I thought you had a man that was
Oh.
dead.
Y'all brought it
What's
up.
going on? Shit.
We're gonna go there. Y'all brought it up.
Rest in peace.
Come on,
What we
man.
doing? They brought it up.
Yeah, hey,
Well,
Daddy
we
Bird,
didn't
man.
bring that up.
Yeah, we
Y'all brought up
you
the
brought
rabbit
you
hole,
brought
so
the
let's
video.
jump in.
Right.
So let's jump
Damn,
in.
Thaddeus.
God, dog. And so it's interesting you say that part, right? So we're in the rabbit hole. There's a couple different ones, a couple different holes here, happening here.
Come on.
Right. So
Oh,
I was watching on social media today where this lady was saying that how do you know the signs that your man is on the down low? Whoa.
Mhm.
Right. And
that is
one of the things she said, I turned her off because some of the stuff she was saying didn't really fit that, right? She said if your man is too secretive, if his favorite position is hitting him from the back, that's
Her breath probably stunk.
that's my point. Right.
Wait. One minute cotton picked a
Well,
minute
her
there.
passion face probably ugly.
Yeah,
Real
like
life.
what? No, her
Or
face
she
just-
could just be blessed below the waist.
or just
Yeah.
ugly in general. Now, if he wants to be from the back, right? Like
You gotta
they-
talk about some
you
stuff.
definitely.
Man,
gotta evaluate this
but
relationship.
look, I can tell you this. One of the things me and my late best friend used to say, it ain't but a couple of us that are truly heterosexual left out here.
That sucks, man.
Yeah, that's
Ain't
true.
that crazy, man?
And not because, again, I don't have no problem with nobody. I got family.
Go
in there.
on with your disclaimer,
Go
man.
on, disclaimer.
It's
I
that
got-
PR.
I got family, but I did a DJ blast, right? And I had the meeting. You know, you had a meeting and everything or whatever. And shout out to DJ Squirt. And she was like, "How tall are you, Anthony Q?" I'm like 6'2". She was like, I'm gonna ask you a question. Don't take offense. I was like, because I see that you're a big man, right? I'm like, yes, ma'am. She go, you like women? I said, oh, I love women.
Right.
She go, oh God, thank God.
Ooh,
Like, what era are we in?
The
That you
fact
gotta
Where
that
you
she-
gotta, you know,
you gotta ask that
You gotta
question.
ask all
Like-
type
like-
of questions.
like back in the day, we used to have to ask, like,
Yeah. Are
Like
you?
you gotta
right?
ask all
Are
type
you
of
a little-
questions.
Man.
but now if it's to the point where straight becomes not normal, you know, I just feel like, and a lot of people just are sexually fluid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I talk to my
boy,
kids.
you got some good words, boy. They
kids
going in
about-
our glossary. Sexually fluid. Right.
I just see so many people get ate up on social media by using the wrong
Right.
terminology.
Yeah.
You understand me?
Be careful.
You mess around and say the wrong word. Look,
Man.
I had to wake up, drop from the label. Like,
Man, look, man, hey,
Look, we need to talk.
that's what's going on. Hey, man, we gotta talk.
They outside my door right
but I ain't
now.
gonna
Let
even
your ass
front
go,
though.
man.
I done lost shit. I done lost track of the alphabet. Shit, I can't keep up with all
Yeah,
what all
I'm
this
gonna
stuff
go,
means.
man.
Yeah, look. Hey, I ain't knocking nobody. Look, if that's your thing, that's your thing, right? It's just not my thing, you know. But you know, it's just not my thing. But I can't keep up with the ever changing and the evolving space of that.
So my friend said, whatever you do with a woman isn't considered gay. Do you believe that?
Whatever. That's it. One more time. That's a
Whatever
really good
you
question.
do
Right.
with the opposite sex could not be considered as homosexual.
I can agree with that.
Mm.
Oh,
So
wait a
in
minute,
theory,
hold
what
on now.
that
Hold
is
on.
did,
You
Uh-huh.
can't. That is not.
Yeah.
that wasn't considered a homosexual act.
Oh, you
because-
talking about that is?
No, I'm just talking about like we know what the
Anything
video
you do.
did.
Well,
Peggy,
but
just go ahead and say the
there was a median space between him and the woman.
We know
What
what
but
he's still using it with a woman.
no. So I take my question back. I take my answer back.
That's a
Right.
gateway.
Rewind.
That's a gateway
I
for
take,
you being
so I was
yourself.
thinking that just
No, not
okay. So I
no,
misunderstood.
no. Whatever
I
you
misunderstood.
whatever- whatever you do with a woman is considered.
You're right. You're right because there was another
The
video.
Luke,
I gotta
Luke
check out
Skywalker.
social media.
The Luke.
Oh my God. Okay, so I gotta tell you the story. So I'm a music business
Oh,
story.
man.
You've been in the music business for a long time? No, okay. So you know, there used to be this conference called Impact,
Mm-hmm.
biggest black music conference in the country, in
All right.
the world, actually. Shout out to Keith Clean Scale. They're the ones that own Revolve now.
Yeah.
But they used to have this magazine called Impact Magazine, and it had all of the radio station programmers that were tied to this. So when they would do a conference every year, they fucked around and did the conference in Miami. I probably averted a Diddy party in them. Now I think about it.
Yep.
You think about that, Kojak? In Miami, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Jeez.
but
In
at this
Miami.
party, but you know, back then Luke was king of Miami.
Yeah.
Right. And so, you know, they had a Luke party. You know, and you know, we were all at the Luke party.
Yeah.
Right. And so, man, at my first Luke party, I didn't know about Luke parties. I was from Memphis. I was there from Memphis, and I was kind of green to the Luke party, right? So shit. So you know, the Luke dancers,
Uh-huh.
you know, they were superstars back then, right? That's
Yeah.
where you first time you seen a clap,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, a clap, right? And so so they were performing in the hotel room in this suite, and there's a bunch of us in there, and we all in there. I guess everybody was like me. Everybody was green to the shit if you wasn't from Miami. So I'm in there looking like this, like, damn, like wow. So they pulled somebody out of the crowd, out of the group. I said, lucky him, right? They laid him down, you know, and danced on him and did all this stuff, clapped on him, this, that, and other, and snatched his pants off.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And so now you better be on some OnlyFans shit because you out here to the world now.
It's about to
right?
go down,
They
yeah.
done snatched the shit off,
So
right?
basically, what you're saying is Luke needs to be indicted too.
No, I'm not saying that at all. No,
Ah.
Luke wasn't even in the room.
Here we go.
Look, oh my God! Look, we wasn't even covering Diddy this time. So they done snatched his clothes off, and you know, and they did a little performance on his, you know, and one on his face, one on his right?
Yep.
So he living his best life
For
right
sure,
now,
for
right?
sure, for sure.
And then things took
He
a
happy.
turn.
He happy.
No,
All smile.
they
yeah,
done brought some toys.
we all, cheering for him,
Play.
right, bro? Yeah, they did.
I know,
And
I know
so
what's going on.
then there was this thing that happened. It was like, bloop, they flipped him over,
Oh hell,
right?
no.
Now
And
these
so
women, right?
these are women.
Okay.
They thick women too. They Meg,
Okay.
Memphis Meg.
I would have flipped back over. What y'all doing?
No,
Hey,
women.
look, and it's bad, right? Because they flipped him over and kissed his cheeks and rubbed his back. Probably got a little massage in there and this, that, and other, and the whole thing. And then we didn't see this coming. She reached in that bag, she pulled something out, and she put it in her mouth and pulled it out.
Oh
And
my
was like,
God.
No.
That's when y'all
It was like,
should
and then it was like a slow motion.
Slow
As
motion.
she was coming down with it. It was like, no, and it was like, bloom. And you heard the air suck out of the room. It was like, oh,
No, he ain't turn around.
Shit.
bro.
Good. They had a lockdown. They had a
Ain't
lockdown.
no such thing, man. I'm
Bro,
screaming, I'm fighting.
bro.
Hell no, man.
Now, that would've been the
That's
day.
somebody granddaddy there, man.
Yeah.
It is. Like them Freaknik
still
folks,
telling
right?
this
Like the folks
story.
that went to Freaknik. And then here's the bad part about it. Here's the really, really bad part about it.
He didn't
This
get
is
up.
back when we first started twisting our hair, and his hair was long, so he had the little bit twist in parts. And so he got nicknamed that night Cornrow, right? And then the next morning, it's the big breakfast,
Okay.
right? Yolanda Adams was performing at the breakfast.
Oh my God.
She didn't
right.
know no
And look, this is the first time she ever performed "Open My Heart." Remember that song by her biggest song, right? Live. This is the first time everybody's hearing this song. We blown away, but my Russ, what's his name? Russ Parr. Russ, he was.
You're right, Russ Parr.
Russ
Yeah.
Parr was one of the biggest syndicated DJ personalities in the country at the time.
No.
Russ Parr was the MC of this breakfast, and Russ Parr said, "Shout out to Cornrow, who got cornholed last night at the Loop party at the breakfast." And the whole crowd was like, "It's about 1,000 people in here." Crowd was like, "Oh!"
Everybody knew what they were talking about.
Everybody knew who he was talking about, man.
And so you just made him relive his trauma, first of all.
Man,
on this show right here.
Or was it a trauma?
That's why I said, did he get up?
Or was it a trauma?
He was like, man, I had a time. I had a time.
Hey, we had a time last night.
15 minutes of fun.
Man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. That's
Wow.
Yeah, so but the music industry, you hear people talking this Diddy stuff, right? Man, the music industry is the music industry. And we had, I forgot who it was we had on the show, and we was talking about the gospel music industry, right? Man, the gospel music industry is the music industry. It's just a different genre, but it's the music industry. I'll never forget that LL Cool J Def Jam was having a party at that same conference.
Yeah.
And it's a long line to get in Def Jam's party, right? I'm in line, and right behind me was Mary. We waiting to get in. That part was lit.
Man, it was lit.
Waiting, you see what I'm saying? And so, but the thing about the music business, man, is this, you can't lose yourself in that shit, man. You can't lose yourself. And speaking of, alternative lifestyles, for sure, right? This baby in California, Clara Hall. Claire, is it Hall?
Clara Adams.
Clara Adams.
Yeah.
Okay, Angelica. We're channeling Angelica.
You just got
Jacking up
finished
some
talking
names,
about an
Rachel.
entry, so you think
Right.
wow.
So Clara Adams,
Yeah, man.
she won a state title in the 400 in California. Now I want you to think about how big that is. Because I don't want to run through this. I want us to understand how big that is in the state of California.
Yeah.
You win a state title
In California.
in the 400. You know how much talent is in California?
For a lot.
And so that's your ticket, right? She won the state title, and then she got a fire extinguisher and opened the fire extinguisher up on her shoes like her shoes were hot. And somebody else had done it before, so that's where she got it from.
Maurice Green.
And when she did that, they stripped her of her state title. This baby, this high school girl, of her state title. Everybody was applauding and enjoying that part of her performance, and the state, I guess their version of TSAA, stripped her of the state title. But there was a comparison that was very interesting. And I don't want to give it away. Josh, run that video.
A 16-year-old track star here in California was disqualified from the CIF state championships after winning because officials said her celebration was unsportsmanlike. I'm going to show you. Look at this video. Okay, Macia712 posted this on YouTube. That is 16-year-old Clara Adams winning the 400. Again, it's what happens after. Her coach and her dad handed her a fire extinguisher. And a little small fire extinguisher. She took it over, kind of to this area by herself, and she sprayed her cleats. I mean, you can kind of get, she's saying she's on fire. She needs to cool off. The crowd is cheering, but officials did not like this. So, as you can imagine, you know, she's distraught. The officials say this is just against the rules, that it went too far. She's trying to get her title back, but also saying that no matter what happens through this appeals review process, she can never get that moment back. She didn't get to stand up there on the podium. Again, she's 16 years old. She's a kid. I'm curious what you all think about this rule, what you think about this ordeal overall.
So okay, thank you, Josh. So 16-year-old baby, but here's the interesting thing. There was another individual who did, I don't know if he won state title.
Maurice
Was
Green.
it a state title though?
I don't think it was. I
It
think
was,
it was a little bigger
it was
than
an
that.
event.
Yeah.
And he was trans.
Oh no, you're talking about the other guy.
Yeah. Okay. So
I know what
you
you're
know,
talking
so
about.
we done made somebody trans that ain't trans.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn, Kojak.
That's Maurice
There's
Green.
Too many Manhattans.
We sorry, bro. You is not.
Angelica,
We,
did you see
no.
that? Right. According to Kojak, Maurice, you're not trans.
You're
Right,
not
okay,
trans,
okay.
brother.
Kojak gonna have one too many Manhattans. God
No,
damn,
this
Kojak.
is old fashioned.
Old fashioned. One too
There
many
you go.
old fashions. Kojak
Yeah.
done made somebody trans. Okay, but there was a you can't make this shit up. This is Antonio Parkinson project. This way. So there was a trans athlete that ran against some girls and won.
I seen that.
Yeah, and so they took her title for, and let me my disclaimer, no knock against trans, but y'all know I'm on the record as voting against trans athletes playing against high school girls, right? And so you don't have to. I don't want them to come for you, so you don't have to do that. I take the heat. So, but there was when Clara, when the high school girl that won the state title and got stripped away, she did an interview with another news media group, and they asked about that. They said, how do you feel about the fact that there was a trans girl, used to be a male, trans to female, that ran in a girls event and won, and they didn't strip the title from that individual? And you know, it's an interesting conundrum, right? You know, they stripped her for celebrating, but didn't the other.
And
We always
Feel free to jump in.
we always got to excel. You know, my grandfather in this moment probably would tell me something like, you always got to be different, right? Because you are different, right? The expectation that we have to be humble when we succeed, right? The things that we can say aren't the things that those who do not look like us can say. And at some point in time, if you're not going to really fight to be able to do it, you know what I mean? Like I'm not big on, like I don't really want to walk to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm gonna fight, let's fight then. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I want to talk about it, right? Like so if we're not gonna try that, right? Then we're gonna have to shut up, right? Like I don't
Hey,
really,
you can say shut the fuck up.
okay.
Yeah.
Now we don't
I say it all the time.
Yeah, we don't
Right,
have to.
right.
I don't want to be that guy where it's like I'm telling my son, hey, that kid over there did it, and you can do it, because it's just not true, right? Now, you can do it, but we really got to stop being afraid of consequences. If you choose to, hey, I'm gonna celebrate, I'm gonna stand on the table and go, fuck y'all,
Right.
I beat everybody.
Right.
You got to understand, somebody's gonna say, okay, I'm gonna strip this from you, right? I'm gonna make you, buck breaking. I'm gonna make you.
Boy, you better, God doggy, boy, you better, rabbit hole. Right, go ahead though. Yes, sir.
Like,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you, Shador
Sanders. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Who you really
right,
are.
right.
Because behind your father, you are still you,
Right.
right? And so behind this, even though you're the fastest 16-year-old or fastest high schooler out here in this whole state, I'm going to show you that you're no better than your peers, even though she's obviously better than her peers. I want to make you feel what they feel. You don't go grab a fire extinguisher, you stay in your place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and whereas we see Caitlin Carr perform, now she's dope. I love her, but you know what I'm saying? I love her, but at the same time, if you're not going to fight against them butt breaking, no need to cry. You made a mistake. Then the mistake is you grabbing the fire extinguisher. Sometimes you got to teach your children to say, I did, I don't care. Keep it. But we all know who really won, right? Right. We know it's on camera. We win. So sometimes you just gotta say, yeah, you took it, but you didn't take my victory, right? So and that's what I mean by being that type of person.
Bro, Q, man, I don't know.
That's right on point.
I don't know who imparted the wisdom in you, bro. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 37.
37, bro. You got the wisdom of a 200-year-old. Real talk. Real talk. You know, and you have to be prepared for. And here's what I would just add to that, if you don't mind me piggybacking on it, is we as a people have to couple things. One is them taking that title from her. Is them taking their validation from her, right? And we as a people have to get to the point to where we're not looking or asking for your validation. Fuck your validation.
For sure.
You know, I'll give you an example of that, right? You know, Juneteenth, right? Everybody was jumping up and down, celebrating the fact that, you know, it became a national holiday. It was a national holiday if we say it's a national holiday.
It's been there for the last since I've been born. I know we've been celebrating.
If we say that every black person in America is going to take off on Juneteenth,
then we all take off.
It's going to be a damn holiday. Right. But we're always looking for validation from other cultures. Right. Fuck your validation. I don't need your damn validation.
Right.
I don't need it. I'm not even asking for it. I'll give you another example of that. I think, you know, you look at Black History Month, right? Fuck a month.
Yeah.
You know, shit. That's because y'all everybody up and jumping up and down and it's Black History Month. It's been Black History. It's Black History Day every goddamn day.
I woke up, I ain't never not been black.
Right, man. All your life, right? Right.
Exactly.
And I tell you this, and I'm trying to brand this. You know, I tell people, you know, especially if you're a person that studies history, you know that the Thanksgiving's Day was declared Thanksgiving by the then governor of Massachusetts in colonial America. And he was saying giving thanks because the Massachusetts militia came back partially intact after killing a nation of Native Americans, a tribe of Native Americans, Paraquat Indians, Paraquat natives, right? In Connecticut. And so when the majority of them made it back, he declared it a day of thanks. And you know, that's what we're celebrating, right? And I say, shit, fuck that. I say, shit, well, let's rebrand it as Black Family Day of Thanks. And you know, and we celebrate it as ours and not as, you know, what that history, you know, has declared it, right? And so Columbus Day, another one, you know, and all this stuff, but I ain't. I'm gonna put a cap on that hole, right? That rabbit hole. But my point is this: is we don't need just. Give me your name one more time, Darby. Darby. We don't need their validation, and there are going to be some that come to you just like Sony was calling you and Atlantic and all these folks. They're gonna be calling if they ain't calling now, to validate how good you are and where you're going. You've been validated by God,
right? You
know, from birth, before birth.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And when we really get that in our head and you start moving and you in an independent space in an independent manner, void of other people's validation, you're the most dangerous person on earth. Yeah, real talk. Yeah, man. So anyway, what you gonna do? What we're gonna do, Coach Jack? What you know, we need to be celebrating the little sister.
Definitely.
You know, yeah.
To see her crying, that's my whole thing. well, that was her dad on that video.
Yep, that was her dad on the.
And then
I
she was
think it was
crying
our
next
coach
to
or
him.
something.
Right. It's like Serena's father. How they said you don't break that child like that. So I for me, I wouldn't have been on there.
You as a parent don't.
I wouldn't have
allow
did
them,
that.
but
I would have been like, quit crying, like you just said, quit crying. They don't make you. You understand what I'm saying?
I'd have still did it because I think it needs to be exposed.
It could be exposed, but not on.
But no, we.
Her sitting there crying. She's sitting there crying on TV.
So to
like,
me,
I worked so hard.
we say fight a good fight. Like I just feel like for so long, those who look like me, right, have fought safely, right, and and it's not to knock my history because if it wasn't for MLK, and people like that, I don't even think I have the attitude I have today. But at the same time, like no, right? You can't. I don't want to sit at your table. Just allow me to have my own table. You know what I'm saying? You never gonna pour ketchup on me because I'm not sitting in there. I don't want to be nowhere I'm not wanted to be. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go sit at the table and welcome it. You know what I'm saying?
Build it,
right? Or build it, right? Support. But I think a lot of times we force ourselves to be a part of something so we don't feel alienated, so it doesn't resemble our history, right? And the whole time it's just emulating it. You're still sitting there getting ketchup poured on you. You don't got to do that.
You can leave there and come to the Hip Hop Lounge.
5721
Raleigh LaGrange,
black
owned.
Right.
You always welcome.
Man, look, I try to wrap us up with this, but I always said, man, I'm a visual person, right? And I always said that this is how I see the shift to desegregation, how it happened. This is just my own version. This is not history. This is what I see in my head. Okay. Right. There's a group of white men in a country club, right? And somebody invited the poor white man to the country club, right? And they're in the locker room after a round of golf or whatever. They're in the locker room, and Bubba, trying to impress the more affluent white guys, was like, we can't let them come to eat at our restaurants. We can't let them go to our schools, right? And the one white guy that's in there quiet, chill, laid back, he's the smart one in the room, right? And he's putting his, strapping his overalls on, right? And he got his little hat on like me, right? And he's sitting there listening to the whole conversation. So you got the followers that are chiming in on Bubba and this, that, and other, right? But he's the rich one in the room, right? And then he finally gets tired of listening to Bubba. And he says, Bubba, shut the fuck up. He don't hardly speak. He doesn't hardly speak. Bubba, shut the fuck up. When they come to our restaurants, they bring their money with them too. We get their money and our money. And that wise person told them, let them N-words come. Right. And he was so smart because those folks that came needed that validation that the ice is colder over here.
Look at it.
At Macy's than it is at Jimmy's corner fashion. Right. And they ran and took their money and dried up our businesses and dried up our industry. Come on. And we ain't been the same since. Right.
And we'll resent each other if we try to make somebody do it.
Man, what you said, man. What you said. Man, look, Anthony Q, make sure you tell everybody one more time, man, how they can follow, support, where you gonna be. Man, I seen them women over there throwing their panties at you and shit, man. Look, tell them how they can get to you.
Man, listen, man, you can find me on all streaming platforms at Anthony Q. You can find me on social media at Anthony Q the Singer. Make sure you follow those fan pages. It's the one with the most followers. Easy to see. Man, I also got a show tomorrow, June 7th. Make sure y'all pop out, man. It's called My Story. Those open at 7. Make sure y'all pop out, man, and come see me, man, and come talk to me.
Love it. And we're gonna post those links in our on our YouTube page, all our social media too. So we'll make sure there's our Rachel, aka Memphis Meg. This is the quietest I've ever seen her, man.
Come on, man. Last time she was at it, boy.
She will be driving. She's sleeping.
Okay. Oh yeah, of course, right, yeah.
Well, it's your lady Memphis Meg, the personal host, HOST to Anthony.
ESS hostess.
Yes,
Right.
to Anthony Q. You can also find me on social media under Rochelle Nolan or 901 Memphis Mid Instagram.
Yeah.
So is it Rochelle or Rachel? Because I've been jacking it up all these years.
It's Rochelle.
Well, I'll be damned.
She tell everybody Rachel. I just say Rochelle in front of everybody.
It became Rochelle
It-
when
I
she
had
started
to- I
when
had
she
to
got with you.
repeat
It was
it.
Rachel before
No,
that.
it's always been
No,
Rochelle.
man,
I heard somebody say that, and I was like, why they call her Rochelle? Man, we've been jacking this.
That's how I
Man,
know where
I'll
I
be
know
doggone.
people from.
Yeah.
So
I'll
that's
be
how I know
doggone.
if I'm gonna turn around if I hear Rochelle or
I'm just
Rachel.
gonna tell everybody. I'm putting on Facebook.
If
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they
yeah.
call
We're gonna
me
put
Rochelle, I'm gonna keep walking.
we're gonna put it phonetically, and it's like I say, when people call me Touche, I'll be like, oh, I've been knowing them for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. But I had the brand Antonio Parkinson.
Yeah.
Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
Right, man. But thank you so much, man,
No,
for
thank
coming
you,
on the
man.
show,
I
man. You've been
appreciate
absolutely amazing, man. You got our full support,
Yes, sir.
and I mean it. You finna get some free shit from me.
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
hey.
So you got my full support, Mr. Label Owner. 901 Music Group.
901
Yeah,
Music
man.
Group.
Music group in the
Come on,
town.
man.
Man. Yeah, man. You got our
Big
full support,
901,
man.
man.
We truly appreciate you, man. We're proud of you, brother. We're proud of you. DJ Kojak's gonna play you at the Hip Hop Lounge.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we gotta get a show at the Hip Hop Lounge.
Yeah,
We got a
man.
live band
Yeah.
just signed on first of every month.
Yeah.
Book him.
So,
he
are we-
like the
We
radio.
like that word book.
Hey, look.
Book.
Hey, now he like the radio
Book.
station
Book
on Martin now, the radio station owner now. He cheap, right?
Oh.
But but look, hey, it'll be a good show though.
Yeah,
Man,
it'll be a
thank
hell
you
of a
again.
show.
Thank you again. You've been watching the Antonio Parkinson Project. Hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, and we'll see you next week.
Bam.